Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. Let's get started and look into our daily quiz. Before we start with the practice questions for the day, we have an announcement. BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS would be conducting a national scholarship test which is scheduled to be conducted on 18th of December 2022 at 11 am. What is that you have to do? Link will be given in the description box. Give the necessary information and you would be able to win some attractive scholarships. Let's get started and look into the first question. In which case did the Supreme Court issue guidelines for the betterment of acid attack survivors? Jija Ghosh and another versus Union of India and others, Vishaka and others versus State of Rajasthan, Lakshmi versus Union of India, Olga Tellis versus Bombay Municipal Corporation. The answer to this is Lakshmi versus Union of India. It was in this case of Lakshmi versus Union of India, we have the Supreme Court which delivered a landmark judgment and it also gave guidelines for the betterment of acid attack survivors. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the Hindu makes a reference to the acid attacks. Let us try and understand what are the key provisions that we have in the law and what were the guidelines given by the Supreme Court of India. The Supreme Court of India in Lakshmi versus Union of India provided guidelines for the advancement and development of laws when it comes to acid attack in India. So what did the government do? The government, after these guidelines were issued by the Supreme Court of India, introduced Section 326A and it also introduced 326B for the Indian Penal Code. These two sections, an amendment were made to the Indian Penal Code and they introduced 326A and 326B if there is a person who goes on to throw acid against any woman, such people will be penalized under Indian Penal Code, especially after the amendment that was introduced to bring an end to the acid attack issues. Various schemes were also launched by the Government of India for the victim. The Apex Court also ordered to provide compensation to the acid victims as well, and at the same time, if there is an acid attack victim, the victim will be treated in all the hospitals without any expenses. The article further also makes a reference to the acid sale as well. We have the manufacturer of the acid, then we also have the seller of the acid. The person who sells, that is at the retail level, whenever he is sending acid to another person, who the person is, what is his name, where does he stay, what is his phone number, why is he picking this for, all these details will have to be taken up by the seller whenever he is selling this particular acid to another person. So basically, to prevent acid attack, this seller will have to take all the information from the customer and ultimately will have to give it to the district officials as well. So when you look at one of the key primary acts, what we have is the Poisons Act. In 2013, the Supreme Court said that establishments selling acids will compulsorily require a license to do so and have to be registered under the Poisons Act. Now let's look into the next practice question. With respect to adjudication of disputes relating to waters of interstate rivers or river valleys, which of the following statements are correct? The Interstate Water Disputes Act empowers the central government to set up an ad hoc tribunal for the adjudication of a dispute, and the decision of the tribunal would be final and binding on the parties to the dispute. Neither the Supreme Court nor any other court is to have jurisdiction in respect of any water dispute which may be referred to such a tribunal under this act. Which of the statements are correct? The answer to this is both. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the Hindu makes a reference to Interstate River Water Disputes Tribunal. When we speak about tribunal under Interstate River Water Disputes Act of 1956, under section 6, it speaks about publication of decision of tribunal. The central government shall publish the decision of the tribunal in the official gazette, and the decision shall be final and binding on the parties to the dispute and shall be given effect to by them. This basically means that whenever a tribunal is created, basically to adjudicate water dispute between two states, let's say for example, in this case, it is between the state of Karnataka and state of Tamil Nadu. So whenever a tribunal is created, whatever is the outcome from this particular tribunal, the same will have to be implemented and it is binding on the parties. So this statement is right according to section 6 of the Interstate River Water Disputes Act of 1956. When we speak about powers of the tribunal shall have the powers as vested in civil court under the Code of Civil Procedure. This will basically include summoning and enforcing the attendance of any person and examining him on oath, requiring the discovery and production of documents and material objects, requisitioning of any data as may be required, issuing commissions for the examination of witnesses or for local investigation, any other matter which may also be prescribed as well. So the tribunal may require any state government to carry out or permit to be carried out such surveys and investigation as may be considered necessary for the adjudication of any water dispute pending before it. Addition of the tribunal may contain directions as to the government by which the expenses of the tribunal and any cost incurred by the state government in appearing before the tribunal are to be paid. These are some of the provisions, and when you look at section 11, it says bar of jurisdiction of Supreme Court and other courts, notwithstanding anything contained in any other law, neither the Supreme Court nor any other court shall have or exercise jurisdiction in respect of any matter which may be referred to a tribunal under this act. So basically, when you look at statement 2, neither the Supreme Court nor any other court is to have jurisdiction. This statement is once again right. So once the tribunal is created and once it adjudicates what this dispute is, comes up with an outcome to it, we have the central government which can also dissolve the tribunal as well. Now let's look into the next practice question. Consider the following statements with respect to Beypore Uru, that is a boat. It is a wooden door handcrafted by skilled artisans and carpenters in Tamil Nadu. It was recently awarded the geographical indication tag. Which of the statements given above is are correct? The answer to this is none. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the Hindu makes a reference to the Beypore Uru. Let us try and understand what are these statements. When you look into the first statement, the first statement is wrong. That is because this is not from the state of Tamil Nadu, but instead it is from the state of Kerala. So when we speak about Beypore Uru, which happens to be a boat, yes, it is handcrafted by skilled artisans and carpenters, and these are from the place of Beypore, which is in the state of Kerala and not in the state of Tamil Nadu. So the first statement is wrong. When you look into the second statement, it was recently awarded the geographical indication tag. This is once again wrong. There has been an application that is made. They may consider this application, may give it in the near future as well. But as of now, today, it is still not being given, or it was not given recently as well with the geographical indication tag. So basically, when we speak about Beypore Uru, this happens to be a boat. This happens to be a sailing boat, sailing vessel, handcrafted by skilled artisans and carpenters in Beypore, Kerala. The urus are purely made of premium wood. Without using any modern techniques, the wood used to build uru is still sawed with the traditional way, which requires immense expertise as well. The prominent people among them who make this are called as Odais. They manage the technical matters of the shipbuilding. Then there are someone called as Kalasis, who are another prominent class associated with uru making after the Odias. They are also referred to as Mappila Kalasis, as majority of them are Mappila Muslims. They are world famous for their skill and expertise in launching the completed urus into the water by using only traditional methods. They also haul the urus in need of repairs back to the shipyard at Beypore. Beypore Urus is a symbol of Kerala's trade relations and friendship with the Gulf countries, and at the same time, many people wanted to procure this ship as it was in high demand around 2000 years. Now let's look into the next practice question. Consider the following pairs. We have the tribe on one side, state or the union territory on the other side. Bhutia, Sikkim, Dodia, Gujarat, Gond, Odisha, Malasar, Tamil Nadu. How many pairs given above are correctly matched? The answer to this is all four pairs. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the Hindu makes a reference to the Gond community. Let us try and understand what are these statements. When you look into the first statement, yes, Bhutia is one of the tribes which is a scheduled tribe in the state of Sikkim. Yes, it is right. Dodia, yes, it is in Gujarat. Gond, yes, they are scheduled tribes in Odisha. And Malasa, yes, they are scheduled tribes from the state of Tamil Nadu as well. As part of the assignment, you have to put on the comment section, this Bhutia tribe is also tribe in other states as well. Apart from Sikkim, which other states have given them the scheduled tribe status? Please put it on the comment section. For example, Dodia is a scheduled tribe in the state of Gujarat. Is it a scheduled tribe in any other state or the union territory? Put it on the comment section. Gond is a scheduled tribe in Odisha. Which are the other states that they are scheduled tribes? This includes Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh as well. In all these states, they have also been given the scheduled tribe status apart from Odisha. When we speak about Gonds, Gond tribe is famous for its vibrant works. These art forms are exhibited in galleries worldwide. Worshipping nature was the age-old practice of the Gond tribes. Hindu religion has had a significant influence on the religious practices of the Gond tribe. And when we look into the last statement, yes, Malasa is a tribe in the state of Tamil Nadu. Now let's look into the next practice question. Which one of the following statements about Sangam literature in ancient South India is correct? Sangam poems are devoid of any reference to material culture. The social classification of Varna was known to Sangam poets. Sangam poems have no reference to warrior ethic. Sangam literature refers to magical forces as irrational. Which of the statements are correct? The answer to this is social classification of Varna was known to Sangam poets. This happens to be a previous year question from the year 2022. So the second statement, that is B, is correct, but the other statements are incorrect. So the answer to this would be B only. Now let's look into the fact of the day. The fact of the day for today's discussion is climate change in the Arctic. What is the context? Climate change has brought existential peril to the planet. The Arctic region is among the most affected. So with the increase of the warming of the earth, it means there is decrease of the polar ice caps, melting of the ice as well. The snow cover is decreasing. The temperatures in the Arctic region is increasing over a period of time, and this ultimately means it is going to have a significant impact changing the global climate system. So basically with this particular impact, there will be rise of the sea levels. It will increase the extreme temperatures even beyond the Arctic region. So this article currently goes on to say, what could be the significant impact for the rise in the temperature, especially in the Arctic region? It goes on to say the Arctic has been warming more than twice as fast as the rest of the world. Between October 2021 and September 2022, the region recorded sixth highest annual air temperatures since 1900. Overall, mean surface temperatures continue to show warming trends from 1982 to 2022. June 2022 recorded unusually low terrestrial snow cover. Second lowest is recorded in North America and third lowest in Eurasia. Precipitation has increased across all seasons since 1950s. Greenland ice sheet experienced its 25th consecutive year of ice loss, and this has resulted in sea rise as well by couple of centimeters, and overall tundra greening declined from its record high values of the previous years. What are the other significant impact because of the Arctic changes? One, the summer sea rise is disappearing. So the extent of sea rise in the Arctic has already declined by more than 43% since 1969, and the sea ice cover continues to be younger and thinner. Over the last 30 years, the depth of snow on sea ice has declined by more than 33% in the western Antarctic. Receding ice creates risk for marine species. There are a couple of species, for example, if you look at narwhals, polar whales, walrus, they are all dependent on the snow cover as well as the environment that is in the Arctic region. But with significant drop in the snow cover as well as the sea ice cover it is going to impact all these species. Diminishing snow cover threatens Arctic wildlife. Most plants and animals in the Arctic tundra depend on favorable snow conditions to survive. For example, many require late laying snow cover to overwinter. Large herbivores like reindeer can't reach their food when hard ice layers replace soft snowpack, as happens during the freeze thaw cycles. Then what we have is the Arctic, which is no longer an effective global air conditioner. The rapidly diminishing Arctic Sea is accelerating warming for the entire Earth. Sea ice reflectivity helps regulate the amount of sunlight that enters the Arctic region and in turn the area's temperature as well. As more sea ice disappears, the underlying ocean surface is now exposed. The darker ocean surface absorbs the sunlight instead of reflecting it. This ultimately leads to more water in the oceanic system. Followed by this, sea levels are rising. That is, while Arctic glaciers and ice cap represent only 25% of the world's land ice area, meltwater from these sources accounts for 35% of the global sea level rise. Shipping is ramping up as and when the ice cover that is present in the Arctic region is dropping every now and then. There is increase of the water that is happening in the Arctic region. What would happen at the northern pole? What you would have is shipments which will start moving as well. And as these shipments start moving, one, it will help in connection and increasing the trade as well. Why? Earlier you did not have the sea route. Now you have the sea route. There is no ice cover. So there is increase of the trade relationship between one country and another country that are present in the northern hemisphere. Added to it, this will also become a source of fishing. Added to it, this will also become the source of taking out the fuel as well, and some of the minerals which are present in this part which were earlier not explored will now be explored as well. So the shipping activity will increase, trade will increase, and all these resources will be exploited. Wildfires are surging as the climate warms. When you look at a couple of states in United States of America, because of the warming of the Arctic, what we can also see is significant wildfires in certain states in United States of America. Permafrost is also thawing, and these are the significant impact when it comes to fluctuations and changes in the Arctic region. It is this that we have to understand with respect to this article. So this is it for today. Thank you for watching. All the best.